Everybody, Spurgle here, welcome to my first Don't Have a Clue tutorial. This one I'm going to try and explain the difference between these player shoulder replica slots and a normal slot, which is easy enough. A normal slot in your model only has one proxy on the model. Say this sign only has one proxy. All the signs that will go on and into that slot will sit using the same proxy. These slots and the same slots that are on my trolley here use two proxies. The reason behind this is if we look at this bulldozer, the rifle and the melee weapon both sit at 90 degrees to each other. Where's the model? There it is. Even though they're two proxies, these two here on the left, shovel and the Mosin, are the same way round. That makes us need two proxies on the model for each slot, so the gun and the melee weapon sit correctly. I worked this out by opening up Eliteness and loading up the Byronized PRU 3D from the Dayz files. It showed me here two proxies and two proxies. I thought at the time that was two proxies for two melee weapons, two shoulders, and two proxies for two rifles, two shoulders. It also showed me this named selection, which again I presumed was melee slot, melee rifle, shoulder slot, melee rifle. And it finally, I learned from this, looking at the model config, about the named sections over here. With that information, I went to Notepad and started configuring my model. I added in the name sections and then I started searching around and I found simple hidden selection with the same name in the player. So I've taken that, excuse me, and added it in to my config. It's the only difference in the config between any normal slot and these particular two proxy slots. You've got your normal attachments and your normal GUI. The only difference is you need this hidden selection, simple hidden selection, which is controlled by a script that I didn't know about yet in my working out. I tried this out and on the model we were getting both melee weapons showing, so you would put a melee weapon in the melee shoulder slot and it would show in the shoulder as well. So there would be two axes when you only placed one, and vice versa with rifles. And then if you put a rifle and an axe in, all sorts of weird stuff happened. They were sideways and yeah, it was wrong. So a bit more searching around and I found this little bit of script in the Dayz player.c. And I asked for some help because I'm not a scripter. Cletus helped out converting that script into this script. He just did the melee for me because we were only working one slot at a time. And then I adapted it, or added to it, to add in the shoulder slot as well. That little bit of script just controls the hidden selection, makes sure that when you put an axe in one slot, it doesn't show in the other slot, and shows the right way round in the slot. It's the critical part to this working. But that wasn't the end of my story, because I had things round the wrong way, because I'd only learnt from Eliteness. I then found out that Bohemia had released these files. I'll link to this, which have the character proxies, and in the character proxies unbyronized P3D you've got the same RPG, the same information that Eliteness gave me. I can actually see how the proxies are placed, and it turns out that the two melee are one shoulder and the 2 RPG are the other. You have melee weapon, melee rifle. That's melee, melee, and then vice versa for the rifle. That was it, really. Once I knew that, I had my script, I had all my name selections and things around the right way, and I had my 3 bits of code. I had fully functional shoulder slots. I've then expanded the P3D. I've added proxies and name selections into the fire geo, so if you config your damage system correctly, damage applied to the main model will transfer into the slots. And I also added them into the view geos along with the slot names and components, so you can view and attach and detach, such as on this little chair that I've made as my test rig. Shovel in my hand, find the right spot, and I can attach and detach. If I go over this side, I should be able to attach and wrong button. Gone. There we go. Detach. Slot itself can take either. Doesn't mind. Works. Going to release all of this as an unbinned mod. There you go. It's all packed up, ready to go. Completely unbyronized, so other modders can just have a look and work it out themselves. I think it would be pretty cool to see universal weapon slots start appearing on backpacks and lockers and wall cabinets, you know, anything. Anyway, take it easy guys, happy modding, and I'll hopefully catch you again if this video's not too awful. Laters.